All right, guys. Now it's time to move on to our last email of the day before taking your live questions. And our last email of the day comes to us from Callie, who lives in Erie, Pennsylvania. And Callie writes, "Hey, Mike, can you help me out?" Maybe, probably. Let's hope so. I'm confused. So, Marvel is most likely going to have to delay Black Widow again, but yesterday they just released new photos indicating a new trailer is imminent, indicating that it's going to hold its November 6th release date. So, is Black Widow moving or not? And yeah, thank you so much for the question, Callie. That's a great question. This particular article comes to us from Collider. So Total Film has just released, it was either today or yesterday, I can't remember which day. They've just released new photos from, photo stills from the film of Black Widow. Here we have, the two sisters up on a rooftop overlooking something. With Florence Pugh running from a whole bunch of fire, big old fireball in the background. And the third photo that they released is Taskmaster, the villain of the film, in kind of like an armored car driving through the streets of presumably Russia or Eastern Europe or something, based on the license plates of the cars there. So we have three new pictures from the film. Which, again, as Callie points out, this is an indication that, the film studio is gearing up to release a trailer. Anytime that, a big property like this is going to come out with a trailer soon, they usually release a few set photos a few days before. So, are they going to release a brand new trailer for Black Widow? And B, with all this kind of new buzz about Black Widow, is this an indication that it is going to keep its November 6th date despite everything that has been currently said about the film? And also, as we were just talking about Tenet is a great case study to say it's not performing as well as the studio would have hoped. In fact, it's underperforming drastically by leaps and bounds. So is this something that Disney is being cautious about? Do they not want to compete with Tenet? Do they want to space these movies out as far apart as they can to try and maximize their box office results? My particular opinion in this situation is that yes, Black Widow is going to get moved again. It may get released. It may get moved to like a December release date. I know Wonder Woman just got moved to Christmas Day. I mean, it's a tough scenario. It's a tough scenario. Both Tenet and Wonder Woman are both Warner Brothers Pictures. Dune was supposed to come out or I guess still technically it's supposed to come out in December, but let's be honest, that's not going to happen. They're going to push that back to 2021, so it's not going to compete with Wonder Woman. But with competing studios like Disney and Warner Brothers, is Disney going to push this back a month into December? Is November a safe time for Black Widow to come out? Like, is it far enough away from both Wonder Woman and Tenet? I don't know. Based on everything of what we're seeing, I tend to believe that the movie Black Widow is going to be pushed back to 2021. That's my personal thought. That's my feeling. Black Widow is going to be pushed to 2021. I also think that these particular photos that came out from Total Film, these were the kind of thing, like photos like this are, these have been in the works for a while. Total Film is a magazine that they have certain deadlines to hit. Like, this is something that they were planning on doing anyway, especially with Black Widow moving its release date to November 6th. Total Film kind of, they get word of this. Okay, great. We're going to jump on board with you, Marvel. We're going to help promote your movie by promoting our own magazine. And this was something that they already had on their schedule. So is a trailer imminent? Is a new trailer imminent? I would argue probably not. Normally, set photos like this are very indicative of, hey, a new trailer is on its way, the movie's keeping its release date, and we're moving forward with all of our plans. In this case, I don't quite think that that's the case. I don't know. Carter, do you have a different opinion on the matter? Do you see things differently? Is there something that I'm leaving out?
Yeah, I don't think if there is a new trailer, I don't think it would have anything except for possibly another
Yeah,
minute of new footage
because we've had
at the
two
most.
trailers
At the
already.
most. Yeah, we've had two trailers, and I don't think that they don't want to give away anything else. Even if I don't even know, I think I forgot there was a movie that came out a little while ago that what they ended up doing was using almost all the same footage, but then had a voiceover from the main character that had nothing to that wasn't even in the movie. So it might be something like that if a new trailer came out,
Mm.
so that just to keep people enticed. But I personally think that it's not going to be 2021. I think that they're going to try to do direct competition with
Do
Wonder
you
Woman.
so in if they do direct competition with Wonder Woman, if the film gets pushed back to a December release date, which is probably the most likely. Again, I'm not married to that particular idea. I think they are going to push it back to January or February. I think a February release for Black Widow could be really good for it. But if they do keep a December or even just say a November release date, how much competition, how much money do you think is going to be split between the two movies? And do you think people are going to pay for both films? Or do you think people are still going to stay cautious and stay at home and not go out and see either? Or do you think they're going to have to choose between the two?
I think that depends on a lot, yeah, a lot of factors, and and I think even as we're talking, we might even be specifically talking about the United States because as of right now, I think that the big reason that they would want to go into competition with Wonder Woman is because in many other countries where cases have gone down, that's where most studios get their money when there are two movies there. And sometimes one's sold out. And especially with COVID regulations, one's going to be sold out with only 25% of the house full. And then if you can go to see Black Widow when you wanted to go see Wonder Woman 1984,
That's a
that's what people
good
are going to do.
point. That's a great
Um,
point.
it just really depends on what happens in the United States because what ends up happening is if you release something online, even if it's, VOD in the United States, somehow, some way, other countries are going to get it, even if they have it
Yeah.
in movie
Yeah.
theaters, you know. Um, and that's why they don't want to do that. They want it to be in movie theaters everywhere. But if the cases are so high here, they don't want to lose money to fear here in the United States. But ultimately, sometimes, especially with these movies, they're not making most of their money here in the United States. Like they could be
Sure. Yeah.
making more money in China. They could be
Well, I
making
mean,
more
like to your
money.
point, look at how
Yeah,
many countries
and it's
have been able to control coronavirus as well as they have. Like, we have a long list of countries who are doing a much better job than we are at this whole thing, and like New Zealand. Italy, like Italy, was the epicenter of COVID-19 for a hot second, more than a hot second, like for a good long time.
yeah.
And look at them now. Like they have very few cases. They're one of the few countries in the world that's leading the fight against coronavirus. And
Yeah, I mean
so
Canada just had zero deaths a couple days ago from COVID.
that's
Like,
great. That's
yeah.
fantastic. So I mean, you make a great point. These studios do earn more money worldwide than they do. And this is something that I hadn't stopped to consider before, Carter. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. You've kind of swayed my argument a little bit. Now I'm starting to reconsider this whole February release date thing. Um, I think you make a great argument there. And with that being said, let's operate on the assumption that okay, they're going to keep November, or maybe they'll push back to December, which is it's probably more likely they'll push back to December. If they go into direct competition with Wonder Woman, movie theaters are at, let's even just say 50% capacity. And now you have to choose which movie you're going to go see, on which day you're going to go see it, based on availability. Do you think a new trailer is imminent in the next week or 2 weeks?
I don't know. I see. I think I always think a little bit more on the pessimistic side of studio or the cynical side. And if a new trailer was released, I would think that the trailer would specifically be for like a couple weeks in the movie
Yeah.
theaters whenever the next big, like whenever the next big, say Soul come. When is Soul supposed to come out? Before.
Oh shoot. I'll look that up. Hold on.
I think, well, if Soul is supposed to come out before December, I think for me, if it came out on VOD and movie theaters, the Black Widow trailer would be released before Soul, and then we would see it maybe 2 weeks later online. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah, I'm scrolling through this article. I can't quite find a date, but yeah, I believe Soul was supposed to come out before. Um, Sorry, here. Let me change the screen so not everybody's looking directly at you, while you're not talking. Yeah, I.
Hello.
Yeah, I do believe that Soul was supposed to come out before Black Widow. Um, I could be very wrong in that. That's just a personal feeling. Anyway, guys, huge question to you is like, what do you think? Do you think Black Widow is going to get pushed back even further, or do you think it's a pretty solid bet that they're going to stick to a December release date, or do you actually think they're going to keep to a November release date? Do you think a new trailer is imminent, or do you think these new set photos that just dropped yesterday are indicative of Black Widow coming out very, very soon? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, guys.